Second.
Okay, Commissioner Fowler, you're up.
Good morning. I continue to say how grateful I am for the extraordinary team we have at the office. Truthfully, this is not at all possible. I'm currently trying to assist with finances, so I appreciate everybody's patience. Currently, we have $1,293,246 remaining on our TAN. Currently, to date, we have expended $4,206,753.13. We started borrowing on our TAN February 14th. The accrued interest that we owe to date, if we paid it off right now, is $42,658.72. On a positive note, the town of Knox paid their tax assessment on July 10th for $110,798. And the town of Searsmont, I have to call them back, has called to inquire as to what they owe. Interest on our accounts to date is starting to slow down because, you know,
Prices going down.
Yeah. So currently to date, we've earned $112,526.54 on interest. So that's still a plus. Understand when we took out the TAN note, when we budgeted for the TAN, we budgeted 19,000 because that was when our bank accounts were earning like 0.5%. And so we had budgeted 19,000 and then we have to borrow on a TAN and to pay back the TAN at its full length is 256,000 in interest. So it's like, whoo, kick in the tummy right out of the gate. Currently, the county checkbook, this sounds like a nice figure. I don't want you guys to get excited because it's going down when we pay the bills. Currently, the balance in the county checkbook is $239,565.76. Currently in the jail, we have $118,860.47. On some of the warrants, they're going to look high and excessive. Hasn't been a spending spree, truly. But we've made our first payment to Two Bridges Regional Jail. We pay them quarterly now, and that's going to be $206,250. So there's always those unanticipated that come along that you don't plan on. I've provided you both with year-to-dates, which for the most part are year-to-date. The only thing that I'm working on now, I thank the good Lord every day that we had Karen for 19 years, truthfully. Currently at this point, I'm focusing my efforts on revenue because the funds that come into the county go in different areas and for lack of confusion and not even sure, you know, I need to secure those, and continue to learn. I figured out kind of sort of NDS. So entering them in there, so that's what I'm focusing on there.
Yeah.
So.
You have the amount of warrants to be signed?
Yes, sir. MCRRC payable.
Why don't I make a motion
Sure.
just to accept the finance report?
Second the motion. All in favor?
Thank you. MCRRC accounts payable and reserve warrant. The payroll for that. For the jail warrant is $40,746.85 added to the bills for that warrant. And remember, there was a jail payment in there. Was $297,922.72. The total is $388,669.57.
I mean, that we pay it.
Second, all in favor?
Thank you.
Well, you know, backing up a little bit,
I'm sorry.
well, it's my fault, I didn't ask the question earlier. We've been somewhere near budget on the expenses.
Actually, our numbers, when you look at the year to date, I mean, truly, especially for having to wait as long as everyone has with their patients. Our numbers for the most part are on the money. They really are. There's some areas that I'm not gonna lie, and especially if we have a chief of the department, he knows whatever you plan for, a lot of it's out the window. Folks, our power bills have tripled. Our phone bills have more than doubled. So there's certain areas that it's literally, there's nothing, and like, again, like the interest on the tan. You know, what you anticipated and then what's happened are shocking, but for the most part, our numbers are good. You know,
Yeah,
people are expending
that's
it as they should. On the county side of accounts. With regards to the payroll on the county side, it is $177,221.11. And the bills to be paid out of the county are $167,927.03. For a total of $345,148.14.
Second, all in favor?
You gonna sign it, Bill?
You're gonna sign it. And that concludes my report. If there's any questions, if anytime you have questions on any of the accounts, I showed you some of them. You
Okay.
can pull
Thank
up
you.
and
Thank you.
Well, why don't we take Mr. Moody right now? He's sitting here.
he is
Bring
here.
him in.
Absolutely.
Morning.
Good morning.
So the reason for me being here, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about IT and the issues I'm having. I'm talking with IT. I currently purchased some WatchGuard body cameras. And
Can you move that sheet?
yes, I can.
Sorry.
Jason has been nice enough. Jason's been nice enough to help me with a lot of this WatchGuard stuff, which has been great. But there's one portion of it that I'm looking to see if I can get some help on with you guys is we have to have an active
Directory, it's called.
IT is not my things. For me to do it through Stockton is gonna be very, very expensive.
But if you umbrella,
Yes,
okay.
and that's where I come into saying I may owe you guys some money if you allow this to happen.
How many cameras?
I have two. I don't know the active director. I don't know if you could speak on that, what that.
Isn't that what we have as WatchGuard?
We do. We have WatchGuard already, and we use the Command Central product, which is what he's looking to use. Command Central / it's called Command Central Evidence Library. Motorola bought out WatchGuard, so they're kind of still absorbing it and consolidating names, but it's pretty much the same thing at this point. I reached out to WatchGuard with Chief Moody's approval to kind of communicate with them, see what we could do to help out, things like that, without, you know, stepping on toes, hopefully. And I kind of told them, you know, this is a very small department. They've got, you know, one computer. Without offending, they're kind of in a closet, you know, sort of thing, a very small office and things like that. They don't really have the budget to go out and buy this, you know, $3,000 to $5,000 or even $10,000 software and hardware and everything else like that. I said, we already host their Spillman. We already, you know, take care of that for them. Can we kind of put them under our umbrella, for lack of a better term, and just add a user onto our Active Directory that we have up in the cloud? And they said, yes, we can do that. I said, okay, well, we would incur a cost for that, a monthly cost. So we need to get approval from you folks, obviously, to do that. It would be $6 a month per user. And I think it would only be 1 or 2 users. So it would be either $6 or $12 a month for them to be able to get access to that. But of course, I'm not gonna, that's a financial something that we would need to do. So I want to get your approval before we say, yes, we're gonna do that sort of thing. But I think it would be beneficial for them versus, you know.
So it's less than $150 a year.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it would be beneficial for them, you know, as opposed to, you know, trying to work on their old cameras, which I don't even know how old they are.
Our cameras are at least 7 years old, and the reason I had to purchase new ones is WatchGuard no longer supports these, and
Oh.
they're
Yeah.
no longer making them.
Yeah.
So-
And you got a grant for the new cameras, correct?
No, we
No.
actually, we had to find the $17,000 to buy these two body cams and the software.
Yeah, so,
Do you have the car cams too, or just?
I do know I have the car camera I have, they're telling me is still good for at least another year and a half. I will have to update that as well later on, but right now I just came up with the money to do the body cameras.
We can keep our eyes open for it, right?
yeah, and there are grants out there, I know. So this, I think, would be a beneficial to them. It's not a hit on us, really, if they reimburse us for that, 150
Could you
or.
come up with $150?
Absolutely.
So I guess that's what we're here asking for, approval for that, if they reimburse us, if that's okay for you folks. Is the first step of it.
I think it makes great business sense anyway, and for such a small agency, that's unfair, and I
Yeah.
think it would be awesome if we could keep our eyes open and find a grant, because you're gonna appreciate what Jason did with us, having both the car and the.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's the first step, and to, kind of help them out with this and things like that. It's such a heavy lift for small departments out there to, ask for them to not only come up with $17,000 for a camera, but then come up with another $5,000 to $10,000 for this Active Directory piece, and then upkeeping it and all this other stuff, so,
Especially when they're on our Spillman too. I
Yeah.
mean, we're all working together anyway.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
kind of nice, I mean, to have everybody kind of on the same system too.
Yeah, it
That
is.
you make, not more efficient.
It is.
I literally, I make a motion that we put Stockton Springs under our
Watch guard.
our
Active
watch
Directory.
umbrella, if
Okay.
you will,
Yep.
and, I'd like to think that maybe at the end of the year, they'll, come up with $150.
Not a problem.
So,
All in favor?
no, absolutely, that's a
Yeah.
good plan.
Ready to go?
Thank you. Next thing I wanted to talk about, while we're talking about this IT stuff, is there a way that we could like hire or be part of having him do our IT stuff as well? 'Cause
Oh,
that's-
here it comes.
No, I mean, and we're willing to come up with money for that. I've talked to the town manager already. We're willing to do that. It just makes it so much easier for us on the police side if we use the IT guy that actually does the police stuff. Right now, our town is using Belfast computers, nothing against them, but they're not vetted. They shouldn't have access to some of the stuff that we
Don't
have.
you have to do Belfast cruisers?
No,
The cruisers, they were using Belfast computer,
Computer.
sorry.
So I'm looking to see if it would be possible to, come up with some sort of agreement where we pay X amount of money to actually employ his services.
And
for
I-
our needs as well.
And I think, I don't want to speak for you, but I think this also came up, we had a meeting with the state.
Yes,
So right now Stockton can't run what is called 1027s and 1028s, which is licenses and
Right.
license plates. And to do that, one of the requirements is anyone that has access to their computers has to have a full background fingerprint check. And that would mean any employees at Belfast Computers has to have that. Anytime they hire anybody new, they have to have that and everything else like that. So that enters into a whole nother piece of it.
Yeah.
So that was another discussion when we were there with Christopher from the state. I don't remember what agency he's from, but the state security side of things.
they call it CGIS.
Yeah, CJIS
Okay, yeah,
agency.
yeah.
And he was like, yeah, any outside agency you use for support that might have access to any of your computers, which in his case, I think is just one computer.
I said, well, I have two. I have one in the cruiser
Okay.
plus the one in. our-
Yeah, he's like, anytime they change staff, you have to verify that they've been CJIS certified, full background check, fingerprinted. All of this stuff, otherwise you could lose access to this ability and everything else.
Do you have an idea how much time or?
Is it doable, Jason?
I think it is. I don't think they're a big.
You have Ray. you know, thank God.
And I don't think they're a big lift really for us right now, and I think it would be a good trial sort of thing, and I think we'd have to look at, come to an agreement, have something written up between us and everything else like that, and a statement of work
I
and
think there's something we should think about for a while.
explore. I wouldn't just,
We asked Jason to maybe explore it a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, like, for example, Knox, is charging $1 million to the towns for. And I just want to evaluate if we're getting it, our feet in the water for other towns that are gonna start over for the same thing.
Yeah, and I think it's, and I will be perfectly frank, I think it's, you know. I know sometimes regionalization is a four-letter word, depending on who you ask about it and things like that, but I think in this time of budget crunches and things like that, I think it's not always a bad idea to look at, you know, how we can help each other out and how we can.
I think that is going to be talked about a lot, this regionalization.
I think so too.
The
And
towns are not making it on their own.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like everything that expense goes up.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and
So regionalization is being a word that is buzzing around.
Yeah.
So,
But with regards to Stockton Springs, I think. If we could, if it's possible to utilize you or Ray or the
Yeah.
services that are here, again, the umbrella.
yes,
Everything that we're all on the same mission there and doing.
yeah,
I mean, I
Yeah.
think it would be cool if you could come back to us,
yeah.
you know, maybe by the next meeting, if you've got time, just
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, and we'll.
This is what I figure it's gonna take for hours wise and
Yep.
cost wise.
Yeah, and I'll present it to you folks, and if you're okay with that, we'll then talk to the chief, and you can go back to your council or select people and or manager, and we can figure that out.
I just want to withhold that a little bit,
Sure.
because if we jump in the water, maybe we have 20 other towns with the same idea.
Yeah,
Well, This
yeah,
is
but
this is
you're-
law enforcement. I'm
Right,
thinking.
Yeah, yeah,
this
just-
is law enforcement, and the thing is, for law enforcement purposes here in Waldo County, you only have Belfast, but Stockton, besides the sheriff's office, that do law enforcement or have law enforcement capabilities. For the town of Stockton, we are so small, we're a part-time department, so all of us have full-time jobs somewhere else. And, you know, I'm struggling to get people to work because everybody's short-handed, they can't put in time for me. So right now, I am actually the only one working for the town of Stockton on a regular basis, at least once a week. So with that being said, and I'm not, you know, I don't think I'm overstepping anything, it's not gonna be that big a burden on Jason.
Yeah.
For us as a small department, as we're operating right now,
Yeah.
and again, I only have the one laptop in the car and then the computer in the office. But trying to get it so we can run the 1027s and 1028s without having to call dispatch because they're busy
Yeah.
is huge.
And I think that would also, it's kind of a, it would help dispatch as well, I feel like, so, yes.
Just give us a couple of weeks to think.
Yeah,
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to even think about it. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
And Jason, if you draw up, you know,
Yep.
some technical.
Yeah, and I'll present it to you folks first, and we can discuss back and forth, and
Okay,
we'll definitely
That's
keep you in the loop though, and let you know what's going on. So,
thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Yes, have a good day.
Good luck. Stay
thank you,
safe.
sir. Thank you.
Did you want to do his report while he was right here?
Dale is right here too.
I think Dale's got a schedule to keep, I heard, so.
Let's do Dale and then come back to the executive session.
Every bus is getting used to it. My focus.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, don't look down quick.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So the first thing I have is deeds and DA. We have finally finalized the layout. The architect is working on that now. Thanks to sharing from probate, we have plans that we didn't know we had. I took them over to deeds and scanned them as a PDF and then sent them off to the architect. So I think that'll help out quite a bit, showing where the HVAC is and other things. That space downstairs was totally renovated back in 2001. It's been 22 years now.
Oh. Wow.
That's right.
And the school used to be down here.
Yeah, it's Beco.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, really?
They were here when I first came.
I'll be
All
down.
the
This
trails.
was all part of this superintendent's office with Belfast.
Yeah.
So what was the center?
The kids would play out there.
I wondered if that was the
Yeah.
playground. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we got those, they're working on those, hopefully, we'll get them back fairly quickly. I never like to be too optimistic about things with permits and whatnot. the architect that we're working with, she said that she'd been doing work with fire marshals and she had some things go through in a few weeks. So there's that possibility, although, again, you don't see it till you see it. Right? So I'm hoping it'll be a few weeks. It could be a few months.
What do we need for permits through the?
For the fire marshal, well, for the city, it's just a building permit.
Okay.
And they basically said that once we fill out the paperwork, turn that in. And
Okay.
with plans.
But the fire marshal is if we knock a
The
wall
fire
down.
marshal, yeah, for any type of changing of entrances, doors, with, walls, all that type of thing. Then we have to go to them for fire code and for ADA, and accessibility. And that's the one will be the time, how long it takes. Now, what I'm coming to you today about is, there's nothing that says we can't demo a site.
Ahead of
Without
time.
permits. So with your permission, I'll contact some of the carpenters that were looking to do the work and see if they'd be willing to come in this summer and start demoing. The space up there and the space down here, Dennis for here and RH Lambeth for up there. They may not be able to be out there every day, but if they've got
We can
free
start the
time,
process.
they can send somebody up there to start the process, start working that.
I was there, for your information, Dale, Dennis was at my house doing some things we wanted done, and he was asking me about this. A project, and I said, well, Dennis says, as I know, it's in the stages to be approved. But Dale is making some changes and waiting for some improvements, but I think he'd be willing to start his project.
I think the sooner that we could
Yeah.
start, that would be perfect if we could get these almost hollowed out, if you will.
Right.
And that way, when it's all said and done, we can just,
That saves several weeks of time in the start. Also, especially down here. It allows us to find out what's behind the walls. Above the ceiling and things like that. Right now, there's some columns in there that are formed up. We found out after popping pals and sticking our head up in there, that some of them are structural poles and some are just chasers for electric and data
I'll be down.
and telephone.
Yeah.
So those can come out, because it will have a wall that stuff can run down
Yeah.
through, so we're also finding new stuff. There is a door in the wall that goes from that back room of probate
Mhm.
into the mechanical room. Now, you still can't get into this room,
No,
but because it's behind there and that's where there's a big wall, brick wall. So there's still no access to over here, but there actually was a door at one point in time. Right now, we're not planning on using it, but that was useful knowledge to know about. And once we start doing some demo, we can we'll find a lot more things down there. So that's it for deeds and DA. If it's okay with you guys, I'll see if the contractors are willing to start doing demo work.
I'm absolutely.
Yeah,
all for it.
we're going.
Okay.
No, thank you.
And the other thing is we have a savings account or checking account in Bangor Savings. That is where our local emergency planning committee and homeland security money get put into. And I'd like to ask if I could have signatory authority on that. Right now, I think it's Karen's last one.
It's a bit confusing, like who's on it or whatever, but I mean, I had said to Dale, I don't understand why he isn't on it. We have multiple accounts within the county, everything from the restitution account to probate and deeds, and they all have their own checking account, and it's vetted and everything else through the finance office. And Dale is probably a greater bookkeeper than the likes of myself or many would ever be. So I had said to him, why are you not on this account? Because he constantly, I mean, we're,
Who's
constantly.
on it now?
Well, that gets confusing. Karen is. And I've been writing checks on it.
Haven't said anything.
Nobody ever said anything. And it was like, so then since then, I've walked over to the bank because they have a little branch right next door here and I'm on it, but even they agreed, like, I don't know why Dale isn't on it. So On behalf of Dale, I would like to ask that he have signature authority on this count that is vetted and audited through the county.
We just have a motion.
Then
Well,
I
yeah, 'cause
make that my motion.
Usually, a lot of these places to get added on, it needs being like the minutes of,
Yeah.
you know, the elected.
Right,
meetings.
a
Like the-
signature sheet and then.
So we have the signature sheet and then we have the minutes saying it was voted and approved. on.
But you're allowed to do on it.
Yeah.
So I will
So-
make that my motion.
Okay, because the bank will also need to have the motion we're making. From the minutes
Right.
on this too, in order to do that.
Do you second it?
Yes.
Second. All right, all in
And
favor?
which account is it again? That would
It
probably-
would be the Bangor
It's the Bangor
Savings Bank.
Savings State Funds account. We call it state funds. It's coming through the state, most of it's federal money.
Okay, and who seconded? I'm sorry.
I did.
Seconded.
So you want me to read it back to you so you know if it's correct? Commissioner Fowler moved, Commissioner Johnson seconded to add EMA Director Dale Rowley as a signer on the Bangor Savings State Funds account.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else, Bill?
During this time of doing that, Karen's name will have to be taken off, so a whole new signature sheet.
Yeah.
Will be done by the bank, so we need the minutes.
So,
Pretty fast, so.
do we also want to look at having Carrie? Or,
Do we, but again, I think we've learned to just slow down and
Yeah.
don't jump the gun. So
Yeah.
let's just get you put on, added
so
on.
you and I.
Yeah.
Moving on.
And remove Karen at some point.
Yeah. I think at this point, actually, she has been. But I ran into a glitch with Camden National. Because we still have accounts there, no, anyway, but. And I literally found myself going through a list, you know, so.
He asked the question, who's your treasurer? Well, it was, and
Yeah.
it was, and it was.
Well,
Anything else, Bill?
Just,
Yeah, we did.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
on the projects up at, the garden, we're still working on the site work. Matter of fact, we're putting in the stormwater ponds at this point. We still got to bring the site up to level, and then back in February, I signed an agreement with Wellman Paving to do the paving for us. And their figure was like 60,000 under the architect's estimate, so I went with it. So we're looking at how Wellman's do the paving. We don't have to go out to bid, because if it's under $250,000, we just need a quote. And I use the architect's estimate of the quote, and then if I get somebody who's got a good reputation and will do it for less, then I'll be going with them.
Why not?
Yeah, well, and doing that practice, we have, like I said, we've saved $1 million on this project.
The only reason this is coming up, someone called me about the status of the bids, and I called Dale and I said, I don't have any problem with what you're doing, Dale. I just made a agreement with the gentleman. I'd call him back and tell him one way or the other.
I wonder if I got that same call,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
remember, I called that, was it the same?
It's the same guy.
Yeah, that called me, so, okay, good.
And then we're still doing some touch-up work in the buildings, still trying to finish a few minor things there. And we're working on the radio tower. We got that mostly done. But we'll probably still be most of the summer finishing out there. Jason's been a great help. They came out yesterday, and hooked up plotter and a printer for us. We've ordered a TV to put up for the classroom, and we still got to put in a room camera, for the whole Zoom, this stuff.
Oh, wow.
It won't be anything this elaborate. We're just going to have one camera set up. But he's been a big help there, and Ray. So
What do we do, Dale? I've been wondering about this. What do we do when they pave it? About keeping tractors off that would kind of limit. what we can-
I've talked with Dale Cross, and there's probably like 3 or 4 days we would need to keep stuff off there so it can harden.
Yeah,
And he said that whatever he figures he'll need, he'll just park on the grass out back or something in the interim. And then when it's ready, he can put it back in. But I've been coordinating with Dale. He's been very good to work with. And he likes the fact that he'd come in and get cold water and have plenty of bathroom. We told him he can work in there if he wants, you know, get on the table and go for it.
Oh,
But, yeah, so we'll coordinate with him, make sure that
Okay, yeah,
he's not in a position where, oh, I need a piece of equipment and I shouldn't, it's behind the pavement, you know, type of situation.
all right,
Yeah,
all set now?
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dale.
thank you very much.
All right, we're going to go to executive session, I guess.
I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Motion that,
I thought I was gonna make the motion.
okay, you can, I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion that we accept, the contract as revised.
Okay,
I will second that
all in favor?
As revised.
as the new contract, the new
Contract.
National Collections in
2023 through 25,
five,
thank you.
NICU NICU contract.
And you seconded that, Commissioner Fowler?
Yes.
Okay,
And,
thank you.
I don't know who thought to put on these cool stickums, but they're all.
Be a help, huh?
I'm kind of chuckling, because Betty, you and I really can't screw this up. And Bill has this big fat one on his.
I did those a
So-
long time ago and I saved them with your names on them. I
Ah.
just reused them a lot.
I like how Bill's is a different color, because he's always signing on one of our lines. Okay.
Okay, I gotta do the same thing, right?
Betty, do you want to start signing that other one right here? Right there next to you.
That's fine.
Yep, yep.
So there's 1, 2,
3 paid.
3 altogether, right?
Yes,
2,
and then the signature paid.
right?
Yes.
That's 3. And that goes on here.
Yes, sign this one, Amy, please.
Okay. This is this. Is that yours?
Yes,
Hey, we're all using the same color pen. Whoop, you missed one, Bill.
oh, sorry. How did I miss it in red?
No.
Completely dropped the ball here, both here.
Or that's what we call it, signatures.
This is sticking together, I think.
Oh, I'm sure, I'm sure.
Yeah, I stopped because I was told there was 3 signatures altogether. There are 4. We have to do.
No, I said there was 3 for the payroll and then,
Right,
and then the
but
back of the.
You have to sign 4 times.
Yep.
So I had done my 3. So. And didn't want to do any more. Okay, it's that, and it goes in here.
Thank you.
And here, I think,
It doesn't matter. They're exactly the same.
just double check.
I will.
Who knows what we're doing?
Okay, we're all ready for Jason.
Yes,
Jason, are you in the house?
I am.
Oh, good.
Go out the back door, huh?
Just nothing I want you to sign or agree upon. I'm just handing this out to you for information. That is a new contract I got from Consolidated. As you know, we're not under contract with Consolidated right now for our phone lines, and that's why we're paying $45, between $45 and $50 per line right now. I reached out to our, for lack of a better term, account rep. I don't remember what his actual title is. I feel like they've gotten very fancy with their titles now, but and this is the proposed contract, which would bring us down to $25.20 per line. It's a 3-year contract. I've got to do some more research on it to see what would happen if and when we upgrade our phone system, because we wouldn't be on copper lines anymore. We'd be on VoIP lines. So I want to make sure if we did that, we don't have to pay a penalty of getting out of the contract and those sort of things. So again, nothing I'm asking you to.
how long is this number good for?
It is good for 90 days, I believe. So
That's cool, because
yeah. So again, nothing I'm asking you to sign, but I do want you to know that
Okay.
we are looking into a solution to save us some money.
then it used to be 15 days.
It did. The first contract he gave me was $36 a month, and I said, really, you can't do any better than that, and we got down to $25.20. So that's, you know, a little bit better at least. So again, still looking into that and still trying to figure out our best case scenario, our best solution, which, you know, isn't as good as it was, but getting a little bit better, at least I feel like. So there's that. As Dale said, we finished setting up the new plotter and the new printer out at EMA, getting a camera out there for them for their classroom. We did run into an issue last week. There is a camera in the intox room at the jail that they use to video, and I might get the procedure here wrong, but I believe when they take somebody in for an intox test, they have to have them sit there for 15 minutes and they have to record the whole process, record them reading the process, and then download that, and I believe give it to the DA's office afterwards. That camera system crashed the other day. I was talking to Bobby about it. He believes it's 12 or 15 years old. It was still recording, but we couldn't pull any video off it to a USB drive. I was able to get all the videos off it, but we're not able to get any new videos or record any new videos to it. So I'm trying to find a new solution for that. I haven't found one as of yet, but just an FYI that we're looking into that to figure out what we can do.
We have a camera around now that we could put in there.
Right now, the jail's in-house camera system records it, but if any police departments need that footage, Bobby's the only one that has access, so he has to go in. They have to tell him what time frame, he has to then download it, put it on a thumb drive. Whereas before, the officer themselves could go in, put the thumb drive in, say, I want it from this to this, so it was kind of on their responsibility to do it. Whereas right now, it kind of sits all on Bobby to handle that. So we're trying to figure out a better solution. I've done some research and I haven't found a solution quite out there that was there. I'm not too terribly surprised where it's a 12 to 13-year-old solution, you know, that I haven't been able to find an apples to apples one. I have reached out to WatchGuard to see what they have for solutions. I have a feeling it's going to be more of a, it goes to the cloud and then we email it to you sort of thing. And I have a feeling it's not going to be a cheap solution, but I figured I'd at least reach out to get a quote from them. So again, we're not down. The sheriff's office and any department that has body cams are able to use their body cam footage most likely for that as well. So it's not a big deal. But if you do have a department that comes in that doesn't have body cams, it could be an issue. But anyway, just wanted to let you know about that. That's going on. Setting up the couple new employees up at the sheriff's office, finishing setting up the new employee over at the DA's office. I've got to get her Spillman access and her phone set up. And other than that, just, you know, putting some fires out and things like that, and still doing some research on the comm center and trying to get that stuff straightened out and working with them and Knox and all that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, I've been hearing the last few days, Jason, about what the center of the University of Maine Center up there, and the stories about we could move in there and stuff, etc. I want you to know that the votes aren't there to do anything different than we're doing.
Yep, that's a, yep. No, I just was curious to kind of look into it a little bit and.
We had all these years without going in depth.
Yep.
And I don't think this board is ready to jump in the water on anything.
Yep.
It's spelled DEBT.
Yep, no, that's fine.
No.
Yep, so,
Other than that, you all set?
yeah, I'm good.
Jason, I just had a quick question. I was
Yeah.
reading the fine print on this, which
Yeah.
actually isn't as fine as it normally is. A cancellation and termination charge is roughly what I figured, 4 months premium if we tried to cancel early. But help me understand, what makes me nervous is the 911 system services part of this that talks about, and maybe I'm just reading into it wrong, but it.
Yes, this wouldn't be anything with our 911 lines. This is
Okay.
totally separate. So this is just our business lines. Yeah.
It's separate now. but-
Yes, yeah, so this wouldn't affect any of our 911 lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our 911 lines, we get through the state. So this is just our lines down here, our business lines up at the SO and things like that. So,
Okay. No, thank you. I'll be
Yep.
curious if you can do any better than that.
We're
That's-
gonna
Yeah.
have a break. I gotta-
all right. Thank you.
Don't feel on my hurrying you along, Jason.
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Think about.
Sure. Good. Thank you, Jason. That's there, you've already taken care of the union. So just instructions. I don't have a great deal to report. I will tell you a little bit of what's been going on. I've been having to do some research on roads being closed for winter maintenance. This is something that's come up, not just with this county in the past month, but with several others. Citizens are wanting to appeal that. And I guess there are some statutes that I hadn't been aware of that I have to figure out whether or not this is just for the unorganized territories or for this place too. Because we also have someone who's been inquiring about it, but we have some time to sort that out. And so the other counties and I are kind of working together to pool our resources and get it figured out. I've started doing the payroll entries. I've run into a couple of snags. I ended up calling Stephanie one day and asking a question, but the good news is Annette and I've been working on them together and we figured out a couple of things that we can now start coding them to the right places. Nothing major, nothing that really needs to be undone, but we can make sure it's accurate going forward. So that's kind of ferreted out a few things. The Maine Association of County Clerks, Administrators and Managers are going to have their first in-person meeting since 2019 on August 23rd in Kennebec County. I'd like to go, however, if there is a lot going on here, I'll use good judgment and stay put here if that needs to be the case. Regarding the budget, I am a tad behind on that, but I have been trying to go through the instructions for the Northern data system to see if I can try to plug the numbers in there. I think the problem I'm running into is when I log in, there's a few of us sharing the same license. I bumped somebody off who's working. So I'm beginning to think maybe the smartest thing to do is just use a simplified version of the Excel spreadsheets. They wouldn't tie to those front pages, so you wouldn't get your numbers as easily or as quickly, but I can try to do it in such a way that I have a couple of windows open and we just log the numbers in as changes are made. I'm gonna try to assess that tomorrow and see how hard it is to get that set up, but I'm really hoping just doing it simpler instead of having to go through and change every sheet to tie in. That takes a long time. And if you make a mistake, it's a problem. One other thing, I've been had several road freedom of access requests, and that has led to me finally having to update the road index that we have. I'm sure if you've ever gone in and looked at it, there are little post-it notes and there are handwritten notes. Bob Nelson, the surveyor, had found some errors and he was super helpful with that, but I had just hadn't gotten around to doing that because of this number of requests. Two of the towns that had the most errors, these are the ones they were looking at. So I ended up getting that book all updated, and now the headings are on every page. No. But anyway, that finally got done. So that got that going. Minutes. The only ones that you could approve if you would like would be from the July 7th special session and the July 12th. special
I've read
session.
those.
And I do too, and I move that we accept them as well.
We
Yeah.
need a motion.
That was a second.
Yep, 3 yeps.
Very good, thank you. And that's, I believe, just double check quick. I believe that's all I have. Owen was signed up for a class. He had an unexpected conflict come up, and so he's gonna try to take it later. And Stephanie had also signed up for a class, and I was able to cancel both of those, but I think there will be a small fee. So if it's not, we're gonna need week notice or whatever it is that they have. Just so you'll be prepared for your budget caucus, I did a little sheet up showing you what the vacancies are. Hoped that would be helpful to you, if you don't mind taking one and passing that on. Did I get 3 altogether? I must have had a spare.
I think there's 2 there, but
Pass one along.
Hey, you were on your phone, I said she'll never know she missed it.
God,
That way you can kind of have a sense of, for each of your districts.
I
Because
think every one of us are,
you do.
yeah.
And thankfully, a few years ago, we got on track with a nice rotating system. So you will always have one. They're all staggered now, which is nice.
I think
Oh my God, I'm all 3.
Lincolnville
Yeah.
has named their person.
I'm hoping they will send an actual letter.
We got a lot of vacancies on that budget committee.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Now, Unity called, Unity's replaced, has put, that Parker guy on.
Tim
for
Parker.
Yeah,
When did they
Yeah.
call?
I think they called on Monday and Susan took the call,
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
but I thought Penny had sent us an email. So I at least have one. And Freedom. Jason just told me this morning that he had heard about Freedom, so I don't know if they'll have another.
And the replacement, Robin, I'm trying to, I went blank on her last name. A new selectman, will take Josh's place.
Okay, I guess.
Oh, really, Betty?
What I'll need to do is follow up. If you can, folks can give me people's contact information, I'll ask them if they please send a letter. That way we have it. It's not just,
She's the one that has, so. If they have been replaced, I take it that they have not been notified of today's thing.
I
Every town's
read
gonna
something on, I read something on in some paper about Lincolnville had replaced that guy with, it was moved off,
Yeah,
whatever.
Josh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right, and that's Robin, so I'm trying to think of what her last name is,
yeah, I'll see if I can.
but they elected, they had three
yeah.
positions, you know. So,
So
I keep
currently,
seeing-
we only have two members. We
Yeah,
have Tom Wagner and Linda Payson. Oh, yeah, okay, so we each actually have one person. So District 1 has Tom Wagner.
yeah.
District 2 have, you have, oh, no, you don't. No, yeah, you do. You have Linda Payson. And I have, the new kid, Parker, right?
Tim Packer.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard anything about, Alpha.
Well, if they want a budget committee, someone has to get going.
all right, so.
I guess we better do a
So-
memo, Bobby.
I was just gonna say, so what do we do? Do we send,
Oh, I think we
I
need to
think
send,
all the select boards
uh,
and ask them to,
put some names forward?
right, yeah.
Oh, Robin, okay,
If there's a vacancy, and like Lincolnville is 1 year term, a vacancy is a 2 year term. And they're expired, that has.
Yeah, it's anybody,
Yeah.
but if it's vacant, and
Right.
usually they have to try
But
to
the
fill it
vacant, they have
within.
to have somebody from their town.
Robin Tarantino.
Guaranteed.
I found that. I filed it all under vacancies and
Yeah, Tarantino, she's the one that's been,
David Kinney sent that.
selected,
so Bob
So
and
you
I
don't
get
need to put
something
that
else.
person on the ballot. They're filling in for the, so you don't need their
vacancy, yeah. Now, for Gabe, whoever is running for that position, it could be from any town, and just with one.
Would it be inappropriate for me to contact, Pocono Town Office and ask if Bob is still in or interested? If somebody could give his name, I thought Bob did a really good job. But
I don't know if he is still,
I can go get MMA's manual.
yeah. He must be, because he sent me an email back in May, Bob, saying that, letting us know that Amy's district had lost Elaine Higgins and Penny Simpson, but he didn't say anything about himself. Where is he on the list? Oh, yeah, his term expired. Oh.
he was voted off the board.
That's what I thought. too, but
I
don't-
think I read that.
I truly, I don't know.
Yeah, he did vote.
Was he?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
I read it in the paper, so.
huh,
You folks mind if I check my phone? My mother's doctor's office has been calling
Oh, go ahead.
this morning and they can't reach.
I'm gonna take my mom to the doctor's after. You want me to take yours? They can carpool.
Great. That would be great.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he got voted off,
Ah.
which surprised me because I thought he would be kind of a stable one.
Oh,
The only guy on here is really this guy that's pouring for his general budget is
Yeah, the other guy.
Wagner.
I almost died when I read that. It's like,
Not in the real world.
He was new last year, right?
Yeah,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
And I don't know, I would think Dave would run again, and he would be in stable.
I mean, to his credit, I have to say, Betty, it's gotta be a pain in the butt coming over from the island for a meeting, but
But I mean.
So you and
he's
Barb-
done it for years.
yeah, so you and Barb will just craft something
Yeah, we'll
that goes
craft
out
it,
to all the
yeah,
cities or towns or whatever, it just says, you know, seeking nominations for budget committee members.
yeah.
Because I mean, at this point, I need to. Yeah, Bill, you need to. Man, Betty needs to. I mean, we all need to. Well,
You only need one, I think. No, two.
yeah, I need to.
I need one person, because Robin has been already named.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I would have had Elaine. If she was reelected.
And so, somebody needs to be elected.
the only question I had on the Stockton was that. Getting into something that other towns have start hollering me too, whether it's fire, whatever.
I think the key being where it's specific, and I'd say specific law enforcement. No, I don't understand. what Tom says.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, that's cool, but, you know, and-
almost non-existent.
yeah, well, then, I can go.
There you go, we got
Um,
that was-
And I mean, if it could fall under. You know, the same umbrella like that, I suppose that would be cool, but. Oh, is Chris here today?
Yes,
Oh, good.
yes, I spoke to him, he might come down early.
He's doing a good job.
It appears you're going, getting done earlier, so I thought I'd come in to see if you'd like me to start earlier with Commissioner Fowler leaving and if you want.
I don't care, it's up to the Barb here, I think we were just waiting on Barb, and she had to make a quick call.
All right.
Up next, why don't you just come up, move up here?
Have we heard anything from Susan?
No, have you?
No, I haven't, when's his appointment?
Oh, I don't know, just
Oh.
this morning. So I wasn't sure what time.
But
Did you hear back from her on us telling her the checks fit?
yeah, she was pleased.
Yeah.
Go ahead and start in if you want.
Okay. I have everything copied for her, so she will have it for her minutes. If I stick to the script, we should be good. I'm not sure if I shared this or not, but I just want to circle back around just in case I didn't have it noted. Frank Pellerin had resigned from the sheriff's office as detective on July 10th. And I just wanted to make sure that was on record.
Motion to
A
accept.
motion to accept the resignation.
Okay, so, yeah, so Betty made.
And we have another resignation that's just came in, is Dan Perez. Also, he's a corporal for the sheriff's office, resigning, and his last day will be July 26th.
I move that we accept that exploration.
The expiration, I'll second. Did you call it?
Expiring.
It is an expiration, I.
And then. All right, so, this is a salary correction for Chad Foley.
Hold on just.
Back in February 12th, he was promoted to sergeant. And when the letter came down, it was for the incorrect hourly rate. It should be $36.35 per hour and not $35.36 an hour.
So we owe him $1.01 an hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
probably.
Okay, well, I'll get this from you
Part
later.
of, I actually just.
Thank you very much.
I have copies of all.
And it goes back to February 12th.
And it goes back to February 12th.
Okay, so do you know how much it is?
Oh, no, I haven't calculated that yet.
Okay, but that's what it's gonna be, is $1.01 an hour.
And why I have it is it's going to take some time because he does work overtime and they get shift differentials depending on the shift he works. So it's not as simple as calculating it out for 80 hours and coming up with a figure.
I mean, obviously, we have.
So if you base it on just 80 hours, which he typically works
Oh.
by $1, but times what?
So I guess I'll make a motion that Annette
5 months.
figure out what this is. and-
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I should have had that. Sorry.
Oh.
It just was going to take time.
All in favor?
And of course, this does create a domino effect because of the new salary schedules that they implemented effective July 1. So I will just, and his correct pay where it should fall on the new pay scale has been updated and entered.
Was it updated at the 36.35?
I know it was updated at the 36.35 and his correct rate,
Okay, so it was, so July 1, it was the
Correct.
correct number,
correct?
but prior to that, okay.
Yes. So I just.
So
wanted
we
to-
only have to go from February to July 1.
Correct.
Okay.
And who is this again? I'm sorry.
Chad Foley.
Yeah, you got his letters there.
Yeah, it's not in order of what you're talking about. There we go.
And then going on to Jordan Tozier, he has also was due a 11-year step increase that was effective June 19th. And I'm just getting it now. And it should be making $31.78 an hour from June 19th through July 1st. And so I owe him a retro for that period of time based on the correct rate for that time of $31.78. His rate for the new salary at the correct rate was corrected and paid accordingly.
So what have we been paying him?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Annette, but don't worry about it, but
Okay,
is it significant like Chad's was?
no, it's just 2 weeks we owe. It was effective June 19th. So from June 19th was his 11-year anniversary and his new rate of pay should be $31.78. So I only owe him 2 weeks, 80 hours,
Now-
probably
Now
$1.
you see why I add stuff over and over on a different calculator and everything else. Scott,
Okay. Sorry about that.
do we need a motion?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
sorry.
would- Okay, yeah.
I'll make a motion that she also correct Jordan Tozier.
All in favor?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, on to some good news. Mike Larrabee, Director of the Communications Center, has hired a new dispatcher. She has some experience as dispatcher with Knox, and she started July 12th, just this last week. Her hourly rate is $20.43, and that is coming in at the salary of a certified dispatcher,
So she is what?
in the process of being 100% certified. She's in the process. She started her training at Knox.
So is
Okay, so she's not 100% certified now, but.
Correct, will be. Yeah,
so is this notifying us of a new employee?
yes, sorry, a new hire.
What is her name?
Her name is Gina Anderson.
Anyone want to make the motion?
Yeah.
So sorry.
Except the new thing, whatever her name is.
Gina, yes, Gina Anderson,
All
dispatcher.
in favor?
I'm starting to fade.
People are expired.
Also, Gina is eligible for a sign-on bonus as dispatcher. For the first installment is $1,000.
And I don't think we just do so noted.
Well, yeah.
It's a standard procedure.
New hire,
Yes,
okay,
Yeah.
so that's all part of that motion, I
Yeah.
guess, okay. That's what we do with the others, included in that.
And then Megan Duval, there's no salary change, but I just wanted to share with you, so I think this is great news. She reached her 10-year anniversary with Waldo County on July 15th. Doesn't change her salary, but it does increase her vacation accruals. She was earning 120 hours a year. Now she earns 160.
congratulations to her.
Yeah, I think
Happy
that's-
anniversary to
yeah,
her.
I think that's great. And then last is Susan Frisco. Susan is our office assistant. She was hired a week after I was. Her 6-month end of probation is due July 30th, and she's doing great. And I just wanted to share that. I'm definitely moving her on to permanent status in the office. She's doing great. She's very supportive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yes, sorry, wanted to share that. And then the other was I asked for an executive session to talk about personnel. And I'm thinking, going to come down, oh, there he is, great. So if we can go into executive session.
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
As of 8/1,
Now,
As a what?
as of August 1, you'll.
As of August 1, Chris Bryant's probation will be done and he is officially Waldo County's facility manager. With that, his pay will increase to $52,157.27. Did I get that number correct? And he will have the use of the Burgundy,
Right.
the Burgundy truck, to and from work on a daily basis after that.
and I'm certain.
All in favor? You're good to go.
Hey, that's
Thank you so
cool.
much. Thank you guys. so
You
much.
got everything but the keys to the building.
That's,
Oh,
oh, he's
man.
got
Oh,
those,
he's got those.
he's got more keys than we.
Yes, so I'll just send them all an email.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely.
Thanks again, Chris.
Thank you guys.
Chris.
Have a good time.
All right, so bear with me.
I made motion to come out. There.
And I didn't catch your motion, Commissioner Johnson, because I was trying to find my place on the page. So Christopher Bryant will be permanent full-time facilities manager.
August 1st. With a pay increase to 50, everybody,
Yes.
to $52,157.27.
And that's effective that same day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he will have use of the Burgundy truck to and from work.
Thank you.
No, folks, I don't think this is unreasonable.
That's what I
Recorded,
think too.
just know that.
No, I'm
Okay.
making a statement.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I,
think it's unreasonable
I-
for the according or not?
No, literally.
I mean,
I think for the time being, I think once he learns to utilize the services up there.
sure, I don't think we're doing enough.
No.
You, anything you wanna bring up?
No, do you want me to? Am I supposed to?
No,
What I do?
our miscellaneous business, you busy?
I'm gonna,
Oh my God, it's a budget committee member.
I'm gonna,
Holy cow, how are ya?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm gonna leave and go get the sandwiches now.
Okay, yep,
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
We can just make Linda nominate everybody.
How are you? Good.
Linda, you
I've
may
never
have
done
to
this.
do
I
this
know
budget
you
by
are. Do you
yourself.
mind signing in and setting an
I'm
example for
sorry?
whoever
You
else?
may have to really do this budget by yourself.
Wow, no, they want to be prepared, but I do.
Oh, you're going.
We're gonna have
Chop, chop, chop.
to, we've got a lot of vacancies, we're gonna have to. Get some correspondence up to the towns and see if we can get them fired up.
We have at least 2 vacancies in every district.
Wow,
As of right now, the only solid ones are yourself and Tom Wagner.
really?
And,
Yeah,
and one, because Penny didn't get reelected,
Oh,
so,
no.
yep, so the gentleman that replaced her, I guess Unity is sending him. So as of right now, each one of us only has 1 representative. And it's bad.
Yeah.
So I don't, so Bill was talking about, he's gonna craft up a letter with Barb.
We, District 1 actually has 2,
yeah,
Wagner and, Robin Tarantino was replacing.
Oh, she's replacing Josh.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
there's 2.
so Betty has 2.
I have 2.
But, cause Bob Carrick, his term is expired and they don't think he was reelected. And Elaine Higgins wasn't lost reelection, but I guess there's chaos in Freedom and their chairman has just resigned,
Oh, my God.
which I guess would make another special meeting. I don't know. I haven't talked to Elaine. I heard that through the grapevine today, so,
Oh.
yeah.
Scary.
Just when you think your own town is in, chaos, but
Well, I saw the notice come up and I was kind of, oh, there's a selectman in there, I guess I better go. So,
jeez.
oh. Oh.
Are we on break? Is this break?
we're coming up on the end, we're on the kind of free fall.
Why does your alarm keeps going?
No, I can't turn it off. When it goes over a certain point, you can't turn it off.
Is it batteries?
No, that's battery, but. It's when it goes over 250,
Okay,
it's gonna bring,
so that means your blood sugar's there?
no, that's where they are, but then when you eat in the morning, it's impossible for you to